All right, we are on the play in match one of our first league with Looting Rug Delver. It is a friendly league, like I said. We're going to keep this. Lots of cantrips and a bolt. Let's start off on Fetch, probably Steam Vent Serum Visions. I've only played with this deck a little bit in tournament practice, but I find, obviously because of having Faithless Looting as a cantrip, red mana becomes very important. So I'm gonna want, probably with this hand, Steam Vents, and maybe even a second Steam Vents, so that we have double red. Double red, a lot more important than it used to be. I like Mandrills. I also like that Visions. I don't like fetching it away, whatever the second card we top is. That's a little disappointing. We could use looting to get it, but that feels wrong. We're probably going to loot away at least one of these lands at some point. I do want the Mandrills. I think the Mandrills is more important than the Visions. And next turn we could go Mandrills, scour the Visions away anyways. We'll top it just in case, but I do want to cast the Mandrills next turn, or at least I want to be able to. Does the looting? Yeah, the looting theoretically lets you do that too, so maybe that's what we go for. Play the forest, cast looting, draw a couple cards, discard a couple of lands, or maybe a land and a thing. Here's a Noble Hierarch off of an Overgrown Tomb. Are we going to let that stand? This smells like Obzon, midrange, or a company deck. Okay, so a few lines we have here. We bolt this and play a land, hold up Thought Scour. Actually, I kind of like that one the most. Just because chances are them having this Hierarch's a big deal. If they're on Devoted Druid Company, I'm going to be very sad that I bolted this. But until, well, to be fair, I don't think there are that many Obzon lists that actually run Hierarch right now. So maybe we should just slam the Mandrills and get going. I'm going to do that. So we can either get rid of the Visions with this Scour, or we can use the Faithless Looting, draw the Visions, and have it for later. I kind of like that line. Let's do this. We're going to draw Serum Visions and a mystery card. It's a Young Pyromancer. Discard Misty Rainforest. I want to have 3 lands. I think it's the Thought Scour. Yeah, let's get rid of the Thought Scour here. I probably need to have access to green mana before I try casting that. But once we do have access to it, Mandrill's gonna come down. By not bolting the Hierarch, we're sort of hedging against Devoted Company. Whereas if they're on an Obzon variant and they go Black Source Liliana, I'm going to be pretty sad. Then again, we get to follow that up with PZ Serum Visions make a token, but the damage is probably done at that point. They push the PZ, and we are in a bad spot. Polluted Delta. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they just have that as a budget consideration. That's fair. They might not necessarily want access to blue mana in their deck. Maybe they just wanted a black fetch. Then again, that's an Onslaught fetch. So at least I think that's an Onslaught fetch. I don't recognize the symbol, but it's art that I don't know, and it looks very old, so I'm going to say Onslaught. I do not know what the opponent's playing. It's a green-black Hierarch deck. That's what we got so far. Inquisition, you got it. I think they just take Peasy. Either of those spells is very nice with Pyromancer. Unless they do have the aforementioned Fatal Push removal like that, where they won't really care about the token. They took the Lightning Bolt. Okay. So Inquisition is a lot more information than we had before. They're probably on some sort of mid-range deck. I don't think they're splashing Inquisition of Kozilek to protect a combo. Never mind. I am wrong. I am very, very wrong. This could get them a... I haven't played against Infect for a while. What are the cards that they play? I kind of want to go peasy just so that we have a bunch of chump blockers in case they don't hit, what's the word? I'm going to find it. Apostle's Blessing for Pro Red, or we're going to get there. I promise we'll get there. The blue card that gives it unblockable and has rebound, we didn't get there, but I described it. I don't know which one of these to play. I kind of want to slam Peasy, so I think we're going to do that. The better question is, do we swing with Mandrills? Because it might just lose to a pump spell. But then we're trading Mandrills for a pump spell, and I guess that's not the absolute worst. Let's start off with Young Pyromancer. They know about it. They're probably expecting us to play it. I want to sequence it like this, so that we can pretend we drew a lightning bolt instead of Tarmogoyf, and we want to put this down ahead of time so that we can get our token while killing their Glistener Elf in response to their pump spell. I'm hoping that we can sort of make it seem like we have the bolt effect, and we want to get our use out of it by having Peasy before combat. It looks like they're not going to let that fly. Black Source. Maybe they're just going to kill Peasy. They're killing Peasy. That is A-okay. So we got punished. Yes, we did. We might be dead, theoretically. We bluffed. And they said, nice bluff. Faithless Looting, Island. Don't want Island. Faithless Looting gives us 2 more draws. So I'm going to top it. As opposed to the 1 draw if we bottom the looting. Might be able to loot off the first red source, bolt off the second. Opponent's turn. Hopefully we're not dead. Green-Black Infect. Haven't seen that for a while. Now, I have heard that the friendly leagues are about as competitive as the competitive ones. Except the meta is more varied, because I guess people like to play the tried-and-true decks when you're betting your 12 ticks on it. I don't know. Anyways, so this isn't something we normally see, but it is a competitive deck, so I'm assuming these are going to be real matches we're playing here. Blockers happen. How much damage, opponent? Just 2 infect. Okay. Okay. And they're going to slam that guy. Pro red, pro white. So we're going to be happy to have a Tarmogoyf down. I want to loot first, because we probably don't care to have both Tarmogoyfs. This has first strike, not double strike, so we absolutely want to swing with this. Then again, they might have a fatal push. They kill our Tarmogoyf, and then we can't block because we just swung. But I do want to clock the Infect player. Let's not let them sculpt their hand, get a bunch of pump spells, and kill us. Do I want to loot? I almost certainly want to loot. The only way we don't want to loot is if we want both of these Tarmogoyfs, and I think the option of finding a removal spell is better than that. We can keep this land, but that doesn't do us much since we have to discard either both Goyfs or Goyf plus Denial. So I think it's just Denial and Stomping Ground that are going to go here. Cancel. Technically, we should attack. I don't mind casting Looting before we attack, because we're getting more information that way, but we don't need to tell the opponent that we have a Tarmogoyf, even though we did kind of signal that by tapping that forest there. I don't expect them to make this block. It seems pretty bad. There could be a mutagenic growth in our future, in which case this attack is awful, but I'm not going to count on them. I'm not going to hope that I'm not going to play around that. It looks like they have it, but I don't mind not playing around it. We are trading Mandrills for a mutagenic growth, which doesn't feel great. That's for sure. Doesn't feel awful at the same time, though. Let's play this Tarmogoyf. And it looks like these Goyfs might be on chump blocking duty for the next while. Now, we could have discarded a Tarmogoyf and held on to the Stubborn Denial so that we could beat that line. That would have been something. That's probably what you want to do there. We wouldn't have any creatures now that they pushed the Goyf, but we'd have Mandrills, actually. So that sounds excellent. Hold on to that stubborn denial just in case they do have the mutagenic, and then when they use it, counter their mutagenic. If they have another, we are once again... Well, we're not actually out of creatures because this Goyf would be in our hand. This one would be discarded to the Faithless Looting. So we do still have a Tarmogoyf in hand. Mandrels is still in the bin. But this denial would have been over here, and this Goyf would have been over here. I think I like that better. Unless you expect your creatures to be dying, I think you don't really need the Tarmogoyfs. So I think you actually want to have that denial up there just for that one phase, even though overall I'd rather have the extra Tarmogoyf just for that one bit where I might not want to play it out. I kind of like that, where we have the option to denial if we want to. Now we're going to take a boatload of Infect. That's 5. Go to 7 Infect. This is going to be tricksy. We have a Mana Leak. We're not going to play that out. Tarmogoyf just chumps this because of Exalted and Trample. If we don't block, we're dead, though. So, you know, we're going to do whatever we can. Hopefully we find a Lightning Bolt soon. They do get their Rancor back, but killing Phyrexian Crusader step 1. I assume Glistener Elf kills us immediately after Phyrexian Crusader bites the dust, but I'm still gonna hope. Tarfire would be absolutely magical here. Then again, we're trying to fight the opponent on their turn. We try to Tarfire the Noble pre-combat. I like that. That's the line we would take there. Try to get rid of the Exalted that way instead of dealing with this, in which case they just stack a bunch of stuff on it. It's got Trample, which means when it plows through the Goyf, we take the rest of the Infect. I like that theoretical line. Plague Stinger. 1/1 Flying Infect. Okay. So they have 3 just shy of lethal creatures. 4 just shy of lethal creatures, one of which is actually lethal. And we're dead. We could scoop. We could also just go to their turn. We can technically cast that looting, which we probably want to do. Red, red, green. Let's do that. Although we are dead regardlessly. We got to see some stuff. Let's scoop. Head over to game 2 here. How are we going to play against Infect? Basilisk Collar looks like garbage. EE on 1 actually seems excellent. Also gets by Hexproof, so that sounds great. And Pump Spells. Destructive Revelry and Ancient Grudge I kind of want to play because I'm assuming they have 4 Inkmoth Nexus in their deck. But that might not be a good idea. That might be a bit of a trap. We'll see. Let's throw these off to the side. Huntmaster is going to be slow. So's Anger. Pyroclasm's probably fast enough. Blood Moon could do work, but I don't think I'm that in for it. Spreading Seas is probably just a better version of one of these. Click doesn't seem great. Neither does Deprive or Rejection. So we're looking at these 5 maybe. What do we not want? Snapcaster Mage. Mana Leak can go. The Pierces and the Denials actually seem pretty good. Spell Snare is probably fine to go. They have Plague Stinger as their 2-drop of choice. Vapor Snag ignores Pump Spells. So I kind of like having a couple of those. Dismember's kind of similar in that regard. Definitely want all the burn spells. Maybe we drop Traverse? I think I can live with that. One more card has to go. Kind of want to keep the Thought Scours for the velocity. Maybe we just dump one of the 5. It's going to be one of these 3. Ancient Grudge is obviously better against Inkmoth Nexus, whereas Revelry hits whatever enchantment they might be playing. Oh, it also hits Rancor, but that's not very good. I'm going to dump Revelry. Hope that they're not playing, I don't remember the name of the 3-mana enchantment that when one of your guys gets targeted by an instant or sorcery, gets +2/+2. Wild Defiance. I do remember the name. Let's hope they don't have that, and give it a go. We already have some Actually, maybe with Faithless Looting, you just run those cards anyways. Throw caution to the wind and say, you know what, if this is dead, I'll pitch it. That's an interesting idea. We're going to keep this hand and slam a Delver of Secrets off of Steam Vents here. Life total, not going to be super relevant. It will matter eventually. And we didn't board in Blood Moon, so we're going to fetch Shocks quite aggressively here. Forked Bolt looks amazing. Faithless Looting, I'm excited for. Kind of sad that they're both sorceries because I want to hold up something on the opponent's turn. If this is a Noble Hierarch, I'm going to consider killing it, but I'm probably not going to. That's a Fatal Push. Okay. We fetch, we play Visions. Whoops. Guess we're not going to fetch and play Visions, huh? That's a darn shame. I think this is actually going to be a stomping ground for double red. Slam that Goyf. Go to you, opponent. I wanted to go fetch Visions Mandrills, but Tarmogoyf is the better play. At least it's the better play now. Play the Goyf. Once they kill it, play the Mandrills. That way the Goyf doesn't get shrunk before it's cast. We want double red for that highly coveted looting plus burn spell turn. Or maybe just double burn spell. That's going to take away probably the burn spell. At least we get to Visions to try to find some more. Follow that up with a Mandrills, assuming we don't find one right away. I really like Faithless Looting. That card is a lot of fun to play. It has so much potential. Of course, it adds a bunch more decisions to the deck, so we're basically playing... Delver's already a finesse deck. And then you've got versions of Delver. They took Looting. I don't know why, but I am very interested. Well, they added a sorcery to the bin for us, but we probably would have done that on our own with Visions. Fetch Shock for the opponent. What do we got? Fatal Push. You got it. Visions plus Mandrills. Thought Scour going to make that second Mandrills very nice. Oh, Lightning Bolt too. I just want everything. Darn shame that we drew the island. Then again, the Steam Vents just opens up Forked Bolt, and they don't have a board. I want both of these. We could theoretically Scour them. Scour opponent, draw burn spell, maybe cast both. That could be relevant. Let's top both just in case. Oh, actually, we're going to use this island. We are absolutely tapping this island. Green, blue. Make that other Mandrills just a little bit better. I'm expecting creatures to hit the graveyard. They already fetched. You know what? Cancel. Let's leave one of those creatures there. We'll delve Vision since we have looting. And we'll get rid of the lands. Just in case creatures don't hit the graveyard for a little while. We did board out Traverse the Ulvenwald. But Tarmogoyf also cares about creatures. Here's another Inquisition. Goodbye Forked Bolt. Hello Lightning Bolt. Opponent drawing a lot of interaction. Actually, I think we did too. They just... Okay, we found one piece of interaction. There is the Ink Moth. No follow-up play. I definitely want to have that Lightning Bolt around. We're going to swing here. And I kind of want to just slam our next Mandrills too. Can we theoretically die to that Nexus? Green Source, 3 1 CMC green spells, and then a mutagenic growth. Sorry, 2 because they need 1 land for that to animate it. 2, say, Might of Old Krosa. That puts it to an 11/11, and then a mutagenic growth. Well, I mean, the 11/11 does it already. So we can theoretically die if we tap out for Mandrills. Scour them. The thing is, if they have all of that, we're dead anyways. So I don't think we actually care. Therefore, let's increase the clock. Actually, we have lethal with that bolt. Go over to the opponent. Maybe we're dead, maybe we're not. There's Might of Old Crow, so let's take a look. That's not the landfall one, it's the main phase one. Oh, it's +4/+4. That changes things. I was thinking +5/+5. Second Ink Moth, probably going to animate the first Ink Moth. That's a nice bit of redundancy for our opponent. Let's start taking some beats here. Noble Hierarch, sure. Followed by Become Immense. That's a lot. If they have a mutagenic growth, we are dead. Do you have it, opponent? Do you? No. That would have been simultaneously tragic and awesome. Second lightning bolt, nothing matters. Well, the fact that they didn't kill us there, that definitely mattered. That was pretty important to our game plan of winning. However, makes a lot of our decisions easier. Actually, mutagenicing this, I was thinking they mutagenic growth the Hierarch, block up Mandrills, and then take slightly less damage, and then they're good. But that doesn't really work all that well. Losing life to gain life. However, even blocking that way to be safe from Bolt, unfortunately for the opponent, you're never really safe from Bolt. I do like how they played that, going to 4 instead of 3. That's smart. Fortunately, we top decked the thing that we needed. Do we change anything for being on the draw? Vapor Snag looking really good with that Become Immense play there. Of course, we still have 2. Maybe with Faithless Looting, you keep all of them? I don't know. I don't know how to play this deck. Faithless Looting changes all of my sideboard decisions. We have all of these conditional cards. Thought Scour is a cantrip, conditional. Even threats are kind of conditional in matchups like these where sometimes you just need interaction. And I don't know if Faithless Looting adds to their redundancy by being a cantrip, so maybe you want to cut 1 or 2, or maybe you're fine with having as many as possible because you can just discard ones you don't like. Spreading Seas might be fine. I might board Revelry back in, but I don't really like the idea of having Revelry and not looting, so I'm not going to tempt fate that far. I'm going to leave it there. This hand is kind of very slow. It's functional, it kills things, and it cantrips. Snapcaster Mage, Tarmogoyf, and Mandrills, though, they can't be effectively used on that one land, especially when that land is getting us a Steam Vent. I like these. These are what's making me consider this hand. This helps a lot. Are we gonna keep? Are we gonna keep? Are we really gonna keep a one-lander without a playable threat against an Infect deck? You know what? We are. If they have a threat, we can kill it. If they don't have a threat, we can Visions. It's a Hierarch, which may or may not count as a threat. Yo. Guys. This land. Yes. Alright, do we kill this or let them have the mana? I kind of want to... Oh, we don't have Forked Bolt. I thought one of these was Forked Bolt. That changes things. Let's get Tarfire up in here. That changes things a lot. Steam Vents, please and thank you. Actually, they could have mutagenic growth. Maybe we want a Bolt. Well, they could theoretically have 2 mutagenic growths, but we're definitely not playing around that. Do we play around them having mutagenic? I really want to see this Hierarch die, so I kind of just want to make it dead. But if they have mutagenic on something else, it's equal to or even more tragic, so I think we're going to do this. Getting the Tarfire into the bin also makes Tarmogoyf better, which could be relevant if they don't have Push or Inquisition. There is the mutagenic, so we traded a Tarfire for a pump spell. Not the best. We didn't take a bunch of infect in doing so, so I like that. Next turn is probably going to be Visions plus Bolt. See if we can find that third land for Snap Bolt. Opponent operating on 3 mana here. We got a Plague Stinger. I don't know if I want to kill that. I do know that I want to draw a Forked Bolt. Faithless Looting. I think we're going to cast Visions, try to find more interaction. Get a Stomping Ground. I don't know if I just want to bolt this. I kind of do, because any infect creature is scary. I'm going to Google Phyrexian. What's its name? It's not Dreadnought. We just saw it. Okay, Black-Green Infect. That'll work. I just blanked on whether or not that Phyrexian creature... Crusader. Pro-red. Okay, so we can't bolt it anyways. That's what I couldn't remember. That's silly. We should Visions first. Get a Stomping Ground, because I want green and I want double red. Cast Serum Visions. Maybe we draw Forked Bolt. Look at that play. Look at that beautiful play. We just did that. That's why you make those plays that are ever so slightly better than the other plays. Because every now and then, you do draw the card you want to cast off of Serum Visions. It's not often. It's actually quite rare. But every now and then, you're gonna kick yourself when you cast that cantrip and you find out that you could have killed both of those birds with a very convenient lightning stone. It is lightning. Electric stone, bolt stone, removal spell stone. It's a very handy stone. Glistener Elf, you got it, opponent. Notice we're bottoming those threats because we already have enough to get by, and I still want that third land. What do we got? Third land. Are we looting that? I think that's basically impossible. I kind of just want to bolt this and play Tarmogoyf. I like the idea of bolting it now so they have to use a pump spell to save it. Our Infect opponent is very low on cards, and that is exactly where you want your Infect opponent to be. Blossoming Defense, sure. Probably a very good decision on the opponent's part to keep that Glistener Elf alive. However, it's still very unfortunate for them because they just lost another pump spell, and we don't have an Infect marker here. We're effectively at full life. What do we got? Land. Push. You got it. More cards that don't kill us. I am in. Pretty soon we're going to Snap Bolt. Might do it immediately. Maybe we want to Snap Forked Bolt. I don't know if I want to be patient enough for that, though. Wait for them to have another Infect creature. That land we might discard. We also might go Snap Bolt plus Mandrills to just get all kinds of pressure down. Kind of like that idea. Kind of like that idea a lot. Increasingly growing fond of that idea. Snapcaster Mage comes down. Snapcaster Mage targets Forked Bolt. Yes, let that resolve. We may as well shoot our opponent in the face here. Pay red. We're not playing out this forest because we just don't have to yet. And let's have the big guy come down. Tons of creatures in the bin. Tarfire we want to keep. Is there a land over here? There's a foothills. Serum Visions can go because of this, and we're going to get rid of Lightning Bolt. Let's keep the Goyf's big. We can block Snapcast with Snapcaster. We can use it to just straight up chump a Phyrexian Crusader. Land, are we going to bin that? I might wait until we have a second one, but I think I just want to aggressively bin this. See what we find. Ooh, boy. 2. Looting's going to be in the graveyard. That's 2. 2 more cards. That's 4. We could just slam our next Mandrills. And because we have 3 lands here, we can slam Mandrills and keep that looting in the bin. Can Pokemon even move like this? Looting's great. Did I mention that I like looting? I like looting. It's fun. They scooped. To be fair, I don't think they drew well. That is 2 Infectors. How many do they run? I want to say 12 plus the Ink Moths. So actually more than blue-green runs. They actually have 16 Infect threats, I'm assuming, in this list. 4 of each. Glistener Elf, Plague Stinger, Phyrexian, Crusader, got it right that time, and Ink Moth Nexus. But, they didn't draw super well, and we did. We very well did. I'm not sure if they flooded. We may have, but we had looting, so even if we flooded, I don't really care. It went splendidly anyways. So, thank you all for watching our little debut match with that. That was fun. Faithless Looting's great, and I might be hooked for life. I hope to see you guys in the next video. I think I missed part of the sign-off. I hope you enjoyed that video. Bam! And once again, hope to see you in the next one.